unless you prevent it. And that's the third major skill to learn. You've got to learn to prevent the intruder from taking all the good you start. It's one of the challenges. Here's two key phrases under number 3. First one, all good will be attacked. On this planet. Maybe not the next one we get to, but on this one, all good will be attacked. Every garden will be invaded. Not to think so is naive. And here's the second phrase. All values must be defended. Political values, social values, community values, family values, marriage values, friendship values, business values. Every garden must be tended all summer. Third major lesson. Now here's number 4. Fourth major lesson in life to learn. Learn how to reap in the fall without complaint. Learn to reap come harvest time without complaint. Take full responsibility for what happens to you. It's one of the highest forms of human maturity, accepting full responsibility. It's the day you know you've passed from childhood to adulthood, the day you accept full responsibility. And another note, learn to reap in the fall without apology. Without apology if you do well, and without complaint if you don't. That's maturity. I used to have that long list of reasons why I wasn't doing well. To explain. You got to explain, right? Otherwise you're going to look bad. I used to have this funny list called Reasons for Not Looking Good. I used to blame the government. I mean, you can believe that or not. It was at the top of my list. I had a lecture second to none. The government. That was on my list. I used to blame taxes. Look what you got left after they take everything. And they expect you to do well. That was on my list there. Prices, that one's easy, right? You walk into the supermarket with $20, come out with a little half bag. So I had that on the list. I used to blame the weather. I blamed the traffic. I used to blame my car. I blamed the manufacturers. I used to blame the company. I blamed company policy. I used to blame the training program. I blame my negative relatives. They were always putting me down. I blame my cynical neighbors. They're just selfish, looking out for themselves. Won't loan you money? They were on my list. I used to blame the economy. I blamed the community. That's a pretty good list for not doing well, isn't it? I thought it was good. I'll never forget one day, Mr. Schoaf was very kind, but he was also very blunt. And this was no exception. And I'm glad he was blunt. There's a lot of things I'd have missed if he hadn't have been blunt. One day, with sort of a curious look on his face, he said, Jim, just out of curiosity, tell me, how come you haven't done well up until now? Excellent question. I thought, well, so I won't look too bad, I'll go through my list. And this list I just gave you, I put that on him. And he was very patient. He let me go through the whole thing, the government, the weather. I went through this whole thing. When I finished, he looked my list over very carefully. He said, Mr. Rohn, big problem with your list. You ain't on it. How brilliant. When I went to work for him a few months later, I learned very quickly to tear up my list, reasons for not doing well, and I threw it away. And I got me a fresh piece of paper. And I put one word on it. Me. There's a Black Heritage spiritual that says it's not my mother nor my father, nor my brother nor my sister, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. See, I used to blame everything outside. And then let me give you a little philosophy that helped turn my life around. For your notes, here it is. It's not what happens that determines the quality or the quantity of your life. It's not what happens. And the reason is because what happens to about everybody. No different. The sun went down on all of us last night. A common event, a happening. And I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor. Why is that? It's because it's not what happens, but rather it's what you do that changes everything. So that's the key phrase. It's not what happens, it's what you do. What happens is about the same. You might put that in parentheses here. Same. What people do, that's what's different. Anything can happen, right? Everything can happen. I've heard all the stories. I've been one of the stories. Hey, we could all tell stories all night long, right? Happenings. Anything can happen. Have you heard of Murphy's Laws? Anybody here heard of Murphy's Laws? Okay, most of you have. Murph had these laws. One of them was, if anything can go wrong, it will. That's one of Murphy's Laws. He was not one of the great positive speakers of the day. But anyway, it's still true though, right? Anything can go wrong, everything can go wrong. For sure. I've fallen out of the sky so many times. Once to the tune of a couple of million. Devastating. Took me a while to survive that one. Now, it wasn't all that much, but it was all I had. Right? I mean, that's when it's much, right? When it's all you got. If you got 3, 2 go, you got 1 left, you ain't looking that bad. But when it all goes, has anybody been there when it all went? Anybody? Come on, the rest of you liars. Come on. Hey, we've all been there, right? When it all went. Of course, it used to be a long time ago, right? When you ran out of money, got to 0, you were all through. Heck, now you can whistle right on by 0, right? I mean, they will bury you. That's what they will do. But see, those are the happenings, right? Everything can happen. Anything can happen. But it's not the happenings. It's what you do about it. Somebody says, yeah, but you don't understand the disappointments I've had. Come on. Everybody's had their share. Disappointments are not special gifts reserved for the poor. Everybody has them. The difference is what you do about them. It's not the weather. I used to blame the weather, and I discovered it rains on the rich. So see, that won't help. 2 men wake up one morning, there's a rainstorm on. One of them looks out his window, sees the rainstorm, and he says, wow, what a storm. With weather like this, they can't expect you to go out and make sales. He stays home. Same morning, the other guy looks out his window, sees the same storm, says, wow, what a storm. But he says, you know what, with weather like this, what a great day to go out and make sales. Most everybody will probably be home, especially the salesman. See, that's the difference in how your life works out. It's not what happens, it's what you do. So here's one of the key questions of the evening. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Good question. What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now, see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's going to be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are going to be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are going to be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life. What can you do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Good question. What can you do with economic chaos, massive disappointment. What can you do with a broken heart? What can you do when it won't work? Good question. So if I had a word with you tonight, one-on-one, just you and me, I think my personal advice to you would be, this year, 1981, reach down inside of you and come up with some more of those remarkable human gifts. They're there, waiting to be utilized. And then change anything for you you want to change. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. If you don't like how it is for you, change it. If it doesn't suit you, change it. If it doesn't please you, change it. If it isn't enough, change it. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after tonight, only by choice. If you don't like your present address, change it. You're not a tree. Now, let me give you 3 steps to personal development. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What does it take to really make the changes starting tomorrow? It takes more than philosophical pronouncement. I know that. It also takes more than enthusiasm. I know we're hearing a lot about enthusiasm these days, but see, that just won't do the job. We're still here on the old cliches of the 30s, right? To be enthusiastic, you must act enthusiastic. But see, that's not going to help. After you have leaped about, there are some things you got to do, or it isn't going to change. See, you can get all excited about lifting 200 pounds till you get to the gym. And then you need a new excitement. And the new excitement is called discipline. Major step to human progress. Discipline. If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change it all? No. Tell him. Now, see, that's exciting. On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life. Murder is a clear example that any one person on any given day can forever alter the course of their life. It just happens to be a negative act. But just as sure as you can commit a negative act, you can also commit a positive act and forever alter your life whenever you wish. Now that's exciting. And whatever that act might be that changes your life.
All right, let's run the play. Here we go. What's up? What's up? What's up, familia? Grand Rising and happy Friday. I hope everybody is feeling amazing this morning. I hope everybody's feeling blessed and highly favored, connected, and never attached. That's what it's all about. I see some big smiles. Yes, yes, yes. Big happy smiles because life is good. Life is amazing. And I'm really, really looking forward to today's call. It is Friday, and it's a great, great day, fam. Hope all of you guys are feeling good. The energy is high. We are good, and we are getting better every single day. We are growing. We are elevating. You know, we are connected. We expect miracles, and we get miracles. Today is Christmas. We are living in positive anticipation that all is going to work in our favor, and that's what it's all about, fam. So I'm super blessed, super grateful to be here. That video by Jim Rohn, oh my God, I've probably heard that same video. If I tell you guys 500 times, I think I think it's a little bit, to be honest. I've heard that video so many times. Like what actually got me into personal development was that video. Like he's probably, I would say honestly, Jim Rohn and that specific video right there, how to take charge of your life, for sure were the videos that set me up for success from the very early on, right? I didn't really understand personal development like that. It was something that, man, this hair, sometimes when when it comes out of the salon, it gets all crazy. But it was one of those things that, let me actually post the link right here. so you guys can have it as well. But fam, I promise you guys, I watched that video easily 500 plus times. Like I would watch that video. I didn't watch nothing else. Like I didn't study no other personal development. It was just that. Like that was the only personal development I ever watched. Like it was morning, night, afternoons, late mornings, like everything, you name it. And that was the only thing that I would study because Jim Rohn was truly the GOAT. He was the man. And it really put a lot of things into perspective for me when it came to personal development and the things that he said, the way that he delivered the message. And then he's also fun to listen to as well. So, it made it fun for me to actually understand it as well. So it's super dope and I'm excited. He's still the man. Like, dude, it's crazy how, even years after he's passed, God rest his soul, he's able to make such an impact on me. And, one of the reasons why I got into so much personal development very early on, because what I realized was that, when I came into this game, I realized that everybody lacked personal development. That's what I realized. I'm like, yo, when I started to look around and I started to look at, my business partners, I started to look at the team, I started to look at the leaders around me. I'm like, bro, people really don't do personal development. Like, I want you guys to truly understand this, fam. People really do not do personal development. Like, you will be very surprised how many people actually do it. There's people that say that they do it, but they really don't do it. Like, I want to make something very clear, guys. There's people that do personal development, and then there's people who are passionate about personal development. There's two different things. Okay. There's people who do personal development, and then there's people who are passionate about personal development. That is two completely different things right there. Okay. I need you guys to understand that that is so important. People who do personal development is somebody who just does it every once in a while. They'll read when they want to read. They'll listen to an audio every once in a while. People who usually do personal development are also the ones who always say, oh, I can't read. I can only listen to audios. Reading is not for me. That is somebody who just does personal development, right? People just do personal development. Being passionate about personal development is somebody who takes the time every single day of their life, okay, and they take at least 2 hours, 3 hours a day to work on their self-development. That they do the necessary things. They are attempting new things. They are reading the books, even though they don't like to read, right? They are listening to the audios. They are going to the events. That's being passionate about personal development instead of being somebody that just does personal development. And I remember when my mentor told me that, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. It's true. You're so right. That makes all the sense in the world, because at the time I was just doing personal development. They're like, no, you just do personal development. You're not passionate about personal development. I'm like, me, I got defensive. I'm like, no, bro, like I'm passionate about personal development. Whatever, this and this and that. He's like, are you for real? He said, do you dedicate 2 hours every single day, 3 hours every single day to your craft? I'm like, no, not every day. He was like, so you're not passionate. Because he said, let me ask you a question. When you played baseball, right? You were passionate about baseball. And I was like, yeah. Did you go to the field every day? Did you practice every day? Did you do it every single day? And I'm like, yeah, bro. He was like, that's passion. He said, until you don't get like that about personal development, you're not passionate about it. Right now, you're just doing personal development. You're not passionate about personal development. And that's when I finally understood the difference between doing personal development and being passionate about personal development. And I think that some of you guys needed to hear that this morning, because most people aren't passionate about it. Most people are just doing it because it sounds good, it looks good, and you got to be passionate about this stuff, fam. You got to be really, really passionate. If you don't do it every day, if I look at your schedule and there's not at least an hour or two every day that it says, yo, from this time to this time, I do my self-development, then you are truly not yet passionate about your self-development. You are just doing it just to do it. And guess what? Until you don't get passionate about it, right, you'll never be able to really see the growth and the elevation that you want to see in your life. It wasn't until I became passionate about my self-growth that I grew into the person that I wanted to be. Because remember, your income will never far exceed your personal development. Write that down. I haven't even started my lesson, but I'm just giving you guys one of my rants right now. Your income will never far exceed your personal development. Nano, can you explain that? Yes. This is your income, and this is your personal development. Okay. Your income will never far exceed your personal development. Okay. So, what you need to understand is in order for your income to grow, your personal development has to grow because it'll never far exceed, right? If this hand is my personal development, okay, and this hand represents my income, okay, my income will grow as my personal development grows. Now, he says this, he says, your income may take a lucky jump and it may grow. But what happens is if your personal development is down here, eventually your income will come back to your level of personal development. Okay. This is important. This is key information. Okay. And this is something that you need to understand. And it is so important for you to get it and make sure that you understand the fam. So that's just a little quick rant for me. Real quick, let's practice some gratitude. What is one thing that you guys are grateful for this morning? I am grateful for God. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my mom, my dad, my little brother. I'm grateful for my goddaughter, Dariana. I'm extremely grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the leaders in my organization. I'm grateful for the whole Mornings with Nano community. I'm grateful for this hair that I'm trying to fix while on the call. I don't know why it looks like this, but the rain messed it up yesterday. But we'll run it regardless. You know me, I don't care, right? But I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the sweater, one of my favorite sweaters. I'm grateful for the weather. I'm grateful for the event we had yesterday and everybody that showed up. I'm grateful for my mentors. I'm grateful for life in general. I'm grateful for the systems in my body. I'm grateful for the ability to, breathe. I'm grateful for life, grateful for knowledge, grateful for wisdom. Grateful for quantum leaps, grateful for momentum, grateful for challenges, grateful for peace of mind. I love that. Grateful for another day to run it. I love that. Grateful, fam. That's what this is all about. All right. So we have a good topic here for us today. And I'm excited to teach you guys about this because, I know a lot of you guys are new to the game. I know a lot of you guys are, getting into this now. So I wanted to go over the 4 stages of personal development. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I like to tell people stories, right? Because stories are very important to make sure that people understand the importance behind everything that we do. And a lot of people always wonder, and you guys look at me now and you guys see me 5 years down the road and you guys see me traveling, you guys see me, going to these beautiful places, these beautiful countries, speaking on stages all over the world and, being, promoted to an educator of, Bob Proctor's platform and all of these things. But, it wasn't always like that, guys. It was never, ever like that. I remember starting back in 2017. In reality, I always say this to people, right? I started in 2017. This is when I first got introduced to the game. But to be real, guys, my first year of network marketing, I didn't do no personal development. To be 100% real with you guys, I thought I didn't do any of that stuff. Like in reality, 2017 was kind of like just like a warm-up year, kind of like let me see what this is about type thing, right? I didn't start doing personal development seriously till 2018. Okay. So 2018, 2019. So in reality, yes, I started the journey 5 years ago. Like I got into entrepreneurship 5 years ago, but my personal development journey is 3.5 years, 4 years, to be 100% honest with you guys, and it wasn't until I realized that, you join these businesses, you join these, you join these network marketing businesses, and then you realize that, in order for your income to grow, you have to grow, right? Because at a certain point, you reach a certain level where your personal development can take you. For example, my physical abilities, my unconscious abilities were only ever able to get me to $1,000, $2,000 a month. Okay, based off of what I knew. Okay, for some of you guys, it may be different. Some of you guys, it may only take you to $600 a month, $1,000 a month, right? But then after that, there has to be growth that is required. And I remember getting into personal development, and it goes perfect and hand in hand with the video that we were listening to at the beginning of this call, which was Jim Rohn, How to Take Charge of Your Life. That was the first video that I would truly say that I started to study. And I studied that video every day, and he teaches so many great things about life and just the laws and principles and all of this great things. And I started to apply those things. And it's amazing because everything that he taught me early on, all of those things have come into fruition. He talks about the seasons, and he talks about everything. And and when you actually listen to these personal development videos and everything, it gives you a lot of perspective very early on. Okay. And that's what it did for me. I was never the most talented. I was never the best speaker. I was never the most anything. I just had more perspective than some people. That's why, even though I started with hundreds, I'm the only one still standing from the people that I started with. Because out of all the people I started with, I was the only one that was passionate about my personal development. Everybody else would just do it to do it. And I was passionate about it. You see, there is a big, big difference. This will set you apart from everybody else. I guarantee you that. You have to be passionate about your personal development. You know why? Because when things get hard, which they always do, the weak will fall and the strong will rise. Never forget that right there. Personal development is not made for the good times. It's made for the tough times. When those hard times come, the weak will fall and the strong will rise. And trust me, the tough times are always going to come. Because like Jim Rohn said, he said, what happens, happens to everybody. So it's not about what happens that will determine your future. It's what you do about what happens that will determine your future. So it's not about what happens. What happens, happens to all of us. We all going through a recession. Think about it. We all go through a recession. Every single one of us on this call, we're all going through a recession. No matter what country we're in, we're all in a recession. So what's happening is happening to all of us. But it's not about what happens that's going to determine our future. What is our future? 2023, 2024. It's what we do about what happens. What are we doing during this recession? How are we preparing? What is our mindset? What are we reading? How are we handling it? Are we being the ones that are allowing the outside circumstances to bring us down and slow us down and stop us from doing the work and allowing all of these things to stop us? Or are we the ones that are like, okay, what book am I going to read? What audio am I going to listen to? What event am I going to go to? How am I going to promote myself on social media? How am I going to prepare myself for this recession? See, there's a difference. There's people that become victims, and then there's people that become action takers during these times. You need to pick who you are. You need to have a big realization of who you truly are. Because like I always tell you guys, and remember guys, I never tell you guys things to scare ya. I tell you guys these things to make you guys aware. Yo, things is hard for people right now. It's harder, and it's only going to get harder for some. Who is preparing right now? Who is working on themselves right now? Who's getting rid of those fears? Okay. Are you going to be the one who sits down and lets everything happen to you? Or are you going to be the one that controls what happens? This is so important. It is so key. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys understand what the 4 stages of personal development are, because there's 4 of them. But before I do so, I want to break down what is personal development. Okay. So I got some notes for you guys. What is personal development? Personal development is the phrase that refers to an activity to gradually and continuously improve talents and learning potential and even wealth. Okay. If you want to look up the definition of what personal development is, I just gave it to you. Okay. Personal development is a phrase that refers to an activity to gradually and continuously improve talents, learning potential, and even wealth. That's what personal development is. It's the gradual and continuous improvement of talents, learning potential, and wealth. Okay? That's what personal development is. Okay? But for most, it's an act, though. For the special, it becomes a lifestyle. It goes hand in hand with what I said. For a lot of people, personal development is just an act for them. Oh, yeah, I'm just reading the book, or yeah, man, I'm listening to some audios, and, I listen to some podcasts here and there, and it's an act for some. For majority, is an act. For the special, it's a lifestyle. So you got to ask yourself, is personal development an act for you? Or is it a lifestyle for you? And it's okay if it's an act for you right now. You know why? Because for me, it was an act. I used to be the one that used to act like I used to do personal development. Man, I used to stunt on Instagram and fake it that I was doing personal development. At one point, it was an act. For real, it was really an act for me at one point. But what I had to understand was this, guys, that it had to become a lifestyle. It had to become a lifestyle. Because as long as it was an act, I will never get the results that I wanted. And this is something that I remember. It said this. It says, personal development is the anchor when everything else fades away. Personal development is the anchor when everything else fades away. And that's what most people don't understand. Because people lack personal development, when those waves come and those winds come, they don't have no anchor, so it takes them. They're gone with the wind, fam. You don't know how many people have been gone with the wind, because for most, personal development was just an act for them. They were just acting like they did it. They weren't passionate about it. But because over the years, I stayed passionate about my personal development, guess what? Okay. My anchor was solid. It was strong. And because it was so strong, when all the waves came, when all the things came, guess what? I was always solid. I was there because I had an anchor. Okay. So while everybody else faded away with the wind and with the waves, my ship stayed solid because I had an anchor. And like I said, that personal development is the anchor when everything else fades away. Okay. So let's talk about the first stages of personal development. Okay. Damn, this guy's about to start with his jackhammer. I thought he wasn't gonna do it today, but I guess he is. But we'll see. If he stays, we'll move over to the other room. But let's talk about the first stages of personal development, right? What is stage number 1 of personal development, right? Stage number 1 of personal development is the self-discovery. Okay? Self-discovery. I'm going to move over here. Self-discovery is, okay. Let me close this real quick. Give me 1 sec, guys. Let me, because that shit gets too loud and I don't really want to deal with that right now. Okay. So the first stage is self-discovery. Okay. Self-discovery is the very first stage of personal development, right? Now, what is self-discovery? Let's talk about it because I think it's important that you guys understand it. All right. Self-discovery is increasing your awareness of the information needed to make you successful. Okay. Increasing your awareness of the information needed to make you successful. Put a 1 in the chat box if you're taking notes, right? I want to know who's taking notes because I'm giving you guys some sauce today. Okay. If you're taking notes with me, let me know. I want to see who's actually taking notes, like truly taking notes on this, because I hope you guys are not missing this information, bro. Like I'm giving you guys some. This is one of my best trainings, by the way. Like this is one of my trainings that are in my vault that I've only done this training once this year. I did this training last time I did this training was in February. This is only training. I've only done this training twice this year. Okay. So stage 1 to stage 1 of personal development, okay, is self-discovery. Now, what is self-discovery? Self-discovery is increasing your awareness of the information needed, okay, to make you successful. Now, you got to remember, guys, that's what this is all about. The fact that you jump on Mornings with Nano, guys, you guys are in your self-discovery phase right now. This is the stage that a lot of you guys are in right now. You're in that stage of self-discovery. You're increasing your awareness of the information needed for you to become successful. You see how awesome that is? Right? Every time you guys jump on Mornings with Nano and you hear the different trainings, the different audios, the different books, all of these things that I teach you guys on Mornings with Nano, you guys are in the self-discovery stage. Okay? Because remember, ideas lead to thinking. Thinking activates emotions, and emotions lead to actions, where actions then lead to the results. Okay? So you got to remember, this is the beautiful thing about Mornings with Nano, right? Because on Mornings with Nano, I give you guys ideas, right? And when I give you guys these ideas, you're like, holy, wow, Nano just gave me a beautiful idea. That idea now leads to what? Thinking. I give you that idea, you start to think, you're like, man, this makes so much sense now. And then you start to what? Feel good about it. You start to create those emotions. You're like, yo, I need to apply this. I need to take action on what Nano said. And then boom, you get the results. How many of you guys have had that happen with you with the morning routine? For those who never did a morning routine and then you heard me talk about it, you was like, man, that's a good idea. I should start doing a morning routine. You know what? You started thinking about it. You was like, yo, you know what? Nano's right. I should be waking up, meditating, reading, writing my goals down, working out every morning. He's right. You started to feel good about it. You was like, wait, yo, I need to start doing this. You started to feel good about it. You started to feel good about the idea of you waking up and doing personal development. Then you started to take action on the personal development, on the morning routine, and then guess what? You started to get the results. You see how an idea led to the thinking led to the feeling led to the actions, and the actions led to the results. You see how that works? I just gave you guys a perfect example of how it works, right? And put a 3 in the chat box if your morning routine has changed your life. Truly, like, you can say that your morning routine has absolutely changed your whole life. I can type, there's not enough 3s for me to type, to be real, right? There's not enough 3s for me to tell you guys how much my routine has changed my life. But guess what, guys? It all started as an idea. It started as an idea. You see how that works? So it started as an idea, like, yo, morning routine, right? That's how it started for me, right? I was reading a book. The book talked about, hey, successful people have morning routines. I'm like, word? I don't have a morning routine. And then it said, yo, every morning, successful people, they meditate, they practice gratitude, they read 10 pages of a good book, they journal, they write their goals down, and they work out. I'm like, well, you know what? I think that's a great idea. It said that, successful people spend time in nature. I'm like, well, I'm surrounded by a bunch of parks. You know what? Why don't I just start doing a morning routine in my park? I get out of my house, I go to the park, and I start doing a morning routine. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I started to feel good about it. I started to take actions. And guess what? I started to get the results. And then because I started my morning routine, that led to the start of Mornings with Nano. Did you guys know that Mornings with Nano started because I started my morning routine? Tell you guys a story of how this started really fast so you guys can understand how powerful ideas are and how powerful a seed, can start to grow right away. Look at how it happened. I started my morning routine around April of 2019, like a legit morning routine. I started it. It was around March or April of 2019 when I started it. That's when I started to learn about it. And I had been doing it for about 2 months. And a lot of people on my team were realizing the changes in me, my energy levels, the way I was thinking, the way I was vibrating, the things that I was attracting into my business based off of the fact that I had started to do a morning routine. So I jump on a call with my leaders one day and I'm asking them like, yo, how's everything? How's your businesses? How's life? We're just kind of doing kind of like a week, like a monthly check-in leaders call with like 3 of my leaders. And one of them, his name is Mazner. I was actually talking with him yesterday. We've still to this day connected. He starts to say like, bro, I see you've been doing this morning routine thing every morning, and your energy level has been on a whole new level. Like, why don't you help us every morning get started with our morning routine? Like, can you wake up every morning and do like a motivational call for us to help us get our day started? And me as the leader, I'm gonna be, I'm somebody that, whatever my leaders need, I'm gonna do it. So I'm like, yeah, bro, let's do it. Let's start tomorrow at 9 a.m. And we started them. And in the beginning, all they were morning masterminds. It was never called Mornings with Nano, right? It was called the Morning Mastermind. And if you sit back and think about it, I started Mornings with Nano the next day, and it's been 3.5 years since I did it. And I've never stopped since then. So think about it. What if I would have never started my morning routine? I would have never got the idea to do Mornings with Nano. Sit down and actually think about how much the tree, that seed that was planted, has grown. It went from morning routine to morning mastermind to mornings with Nano to world-renowned speaker to now part of Bob Proctor's platform with MMX. You see how one idea could change your whole entire life? But guess what? I was in the self-discovery phase. Okay? So why do I tell you guys this? right? Because all of you guys are right now in stage one of your personal development. Every single one of us, including me still to this day. You're always in the self-discovery phase. No, what do you mean by self-discovery? Like I said, increasing your awareness of the information needed to make you successful. And how do you increase your awareness? Reading, listening to audios, going to events, jumping on team trainings, mentorship calls. This is how you do it. If you're not doing this every single day, fam, then what are we actually doing with our lives? You got to be reading every day. Every single day. You are doing yourself the biggest disservice if you are not reading every day, because that means that you don't have new ideas to think from every day. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not listening to audios every day, what are you doing? You need new ideas to think from. If you're not investing into multiple events a year where you can go and learn from different people, then what are you actually doing? Just this year, I've been to who knows how many events. The event that I have in 2 weeks in Chicago is a Kevin Trudeau event. I'm going over there to learn new ideas. I'm studying audios every day. I'm reading my book every day. I'm jumping on training calls every day. I do calls with my mentor multiple times a month. You see how powerful this is? You got to always be in the self-discovery stage, okay? And a lot of you guys are here, but a lot of you guys have not mastered the self-discovery stage. I am always at stage one, which is self-discovery. All right, let's talk about number two, okay? Stage number two of personal development is development. Is the development stage, okay? Now, what do I mean by the development stage? The development stage is the practice and the repetition of it. The practice and the repetition of it. Okay. You see, this is the place where most people fail and stay stuck. You know why? Because they don't show up to practice every day. This is the stage in the personal development journey where most people stay stuck because they never, ever, ever are able to stay consistent with the daily practice. You got to go to practice every day. Every day. You got to read every day. You got to listen to audios every day. You got to invest into events every year. It has to be something that you do daily, guys. Because if not, you're just acting. And I know some of you guys are actors right now when it comes to personal development. Because, like I said again, listen to me very, very, very closely. And I say this as respectful as possible. If you do not do personal development at least 2 hours every single day, you are an actor. You are not a professional at this. Not yet. You are just acting. This is not a lifestyle for you yet. If this is not something that you do every single day, where it's a part of your schedule, it is a non-negotiable. It's like brushing your teeth, it's like showering, it's like eating every day. You are an actor of personal development. You are not yet a professional. You have not yet made it a lifestyle yet. And I say that as respectful as possible because someone had to tell me what I'm telling you in order for me to take it serious. Because for a long time, I was an act. It wasn't a lifestyle for me. I would do it some days, yes. I would read whenever I would remember to read. Bro, it would take me freaking 6 months to read one book. That's an act. I would listen to audios just because. I was an act. It was an act. It wasn't a lifestyle. I'm going to repeat it again so that you guys can listen to it and you guys can really take this in. If you are not dedicating at least 1 to 2 hours a day consistently to your self development, where there is a time in your schedule where you sit down with no phone and it's just you, your book, your audios, yourself, and you work on yourself daily. If you don't have that in your schedule 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, you are an act. It's not a lifestyle yet. It's not. So if somebody didn't tell you, let me be the one to tell you, because this is the facts. And that's how it works. Because when you reach the development stage, which is stage number 2, it's all about the practice now. It's all about practice, 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 practice. Every day you show up, okay? Every day you show up is practice. You're preparing yourself for the game. Because remember, like I always tell you guys, if you don't learn how to play the game will play you. If you don't know how to play the game will play you. So the reason why I practice is so that when the game comes, I know how to play. I'm prepared. You can't beat me. I was at practice every day. I know the plays. I understand the game. So the game never plays me. The reason you see so many people quit, the reason you see so many people give up is because the game played them. They weren't at practice. They didn't read the books. They didn't listen to the audios. They didn't jump on the trainings. They didn't go to the events. So when it was time to play the game, they wasn't ready and they failed. I've seen that happen to thousands of people. Not hundreds, thousands and tens of thousands of people. I've watched it with my own eyes like this. I know when somebody's going to fail before they fail. It's messed up. And I tell them, they don't believe me, and then they're gone. I do my best. I do my best to teach people as much as I can. I do my best to warn people. I do my best to prepare people. Sometimes the problem is that people, they only learn 2 ways. You can either learn from your experiences or you can learn from other people's experiences, right? Sometimes the problem with most of us is that we don't want to learn from other people's experiences, so we have to learn on our own. So they will completely ignore what I say to them. It will go in one ear and it'll go out the other because they have to experience it on their own. It's like when your mom tells you not to do something and you still keep doing it, and you still keep doing it, and then you finally, boom, what your mom told you was gonna happen finally happens, and you're like, damn, I should have listened to my mom. I should have listened to mom. Not mom knows best. But you had to experience it. And that's the problem with most people. People are too much. They're too hard-headed. They have too much ego, too much pride. They think that they know it all. Until then it hits you and you're like, I wish I would have listened to Nano. I wish I would have just showed up to practice every day. I wish I would have read a book. I wish I would have listened to that audio. I wish I would have went to that event. It's important that you guys understand that. So the development stage, when it comes to the 4 stages, number 2 is the development of it, the practice every day, the actual application and use of the idea, belief, or method. That's all this is. Okay? It's the actual application of the use of the idea is that most people forget. Okay, so that's number 3. Sorry, that was number 2. Let's go to number 3. All right. Number 3 is actualization stage. Number 3 is the actualization stage. Okay. The actualization stage is actually putting what you learn to use. Putting what you learn into use. Okay. I always teach this thing called ACT. A-C-T. A-C-T. After every call, after every training, after every event, after every book you read, after every audio you listen to, it's time to act. A-C-T. What am I going to apply? What am I going to change? What am I going to teach? You got to act. What am I going to apply? What am I going to change? And what am I going to teach? So when you're done with this call, A, what are you going to apply from what you learned today? What are you going to change from what you learned today? And what are you going to teach from what you learned today? You go to an event. What are you going to apply? What are you going to change? What are you going to teach? That's how it works. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is part of the game. Okay? I challenge all of you guys to act on this call. Okay? What are you going to apply from this call? What's one thing that you learned here today that you're going to apply? What's one thing that you're going to change from what you learned? And what is one thing that you're going to teach from what you learned? My boy Giovanni asked me, Nano, why a lot of times people are locked to not do act? They just don't want it bad enough, I guess. You know, somebody who wants to change will always act. Somebody who doesn't want it that bad will never act because they don't want it that bad. You see, for me, I wanted it super bad. I wanted it so bad that everything that I learned, I had to teach it. I had to learn it. I had to apply it. I had to change it. Right? There were a lot of things that I learned, right, while I was on the road. And I myself consciously think about it. I already have this installed in my mind where when I go to events, I'm like, yo, I'm going to apply this. I'm going to change this and I'm going to teach this. For example, some of the trainings that I taught you guys Tuesday and Wednesdays, those were trainings that I learned while I was in Europe that I said, yo, I'm going to teach this. But guess what? There were also things that I said I was going to change and things that I also said I was going to apply. This is how it works, fam. You got to know this. This is super, super key. This is the actualization stage. Most people, unfortunately, guys, and this is an unfortunate truth, but most people don't get to stage 3. Most people rarely do stage 3 because they don't apply. Most people don't apply. They're not applying the information consistently. They're just doing it to do it. They're just listening to the audio to listen to the audio. They're just reading the books to say that they actually read the books, but they're not actually applying the information. You got to apply. If you're not applying, then what are we actually doing? If you're not changing certain things, then what are we actually doing? If you're not teaching it, then what are we actually doing? Okay? When it hurts enough, you'll change. And that's the truth, right? There's a story of the dog, right? I don't know if you guys ever heard the story of the dog, right? There's a story of a dog, for example, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, right? This guy walks into a store, right? And the store owner has a dog. And this dog is in the back and he's crying. You know, he's like, and you know, the guy asks the store owner, yo, your dog is crying. And the store owner says, I know. He's like, but why is he crying? He's like, because he's sitting on a nail, right? He's sitting on a nail. And the guy asks the store owner, so why doesn't he just get up so he could stop crying? And the store owner tells the guy, he says, because it doesn't hurt him enough. When it hurts him enough, he'll get up, because he can get up at any time so he can stop crying. But the thing is that right now it doesn't hurt the dog enough to get up and go. Most people right now, they're sitting on that nail and they're crying and they're complaining, and and you know, they're not where they want to be at, but they're still sitting in that nail because it doesn't hurt them enough. Their situation doesn't hurt them enough, and at any time they can get up and work towards a better future. And that's the truth. I was that dog sitting on that nail, and until it didn't hurt me enough, I didn't get up and go do it. Some of us on this call right now, we're the dog sitting on the nail. It hasn't hurt us enough to get up and actually go and do that, to actually go and be passionate about it. And that's the truth. Some of you guys need to get up. You got to stop being that dog that's crying, complaining, and just get up and go do it. It's on you. It's not on me. At any time, at any point, you can just get up and go do it. But you're not, because you rather stay sitting on the nail and cry and complain about your situation. But at any point, you can get up. That's the key. So that's number 3. You got to go and apply the information, guys. You have to. You got to apply this information. It's super important. Okay, that's number 3. And then the last and final one, number 4. Stage number 4 of the stages of personal development is mastery. Mastery. That's what this is. Mastery. This is the stage that I'm at. I'm at the mastery stage. I've gone through the self-discovery stage already. I've gone through the development. I've gone through the actualization stage. I'm right now working on mastery. Working on mastery, fam. And mastery is when your personal development is a lifestyle. 2 hours a day minimum. You know, you're becoming unconscious competent with your development. It's something that you don't even think about. If you got to think about reading, you're not unconscious competent yet. It's the truth. If you have to convince yourself, like, damn, if you got to be like, yo, I got to read today, or I gotta do my morning routine today, you haven't gotten there yet. You're not there yet, fam. I'm sorry to tell you that. You're not there. You got to get to the unconscious competent level, which is where it's second nature. You don't even think about it. Remember, there's four levels of learning. There is unconscious incompetent, right? Which is you don't know what you don't know. So you're unconscious, which is you don't know, okay? And you're incompetent, which you can't do. So you don't know what you don't know, and you can't do what you don't know. Before you knew about personal development, some of you guys were unconscious incompetent about personal development. You guys were unconscious incompetent about a morning routine. Okay? Then you become conscious incompetent, which means you know you're conscious, but you're still incompetent, which means you don't do. So you know, but you don't do. You know that you got to do personal development, but you don't do it. You know you got to read every day, but you don't do it. You know, but you don't do. This is where most people are. They know what they got to do, but they don't do it. Okay? Then you get to conscious competence, which means you know and you do. You know you got to do your morning routine and you do your morning routine. You know you got to read every day and you read every day. You know you got to go to events and you invest into events. And then you get to the fourth level, which is what I'm talking about now. Unconscious competent, which means it becomes second nature, and it's you do it unconsciously. It's like brushing your teeth. It's like tying your shoelaces. It's like getting into a car and putting on your seatbelt. If you're not like that about your personal development, that's where you need to get to. But in order for you to do that, you need to practice conscious competence for a long period of time. 11:11. You got to practice it for a long period of time. Like breathing. Breathing is unconscious competent. You don't got to think about breathing. You just do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't even think think about it. When you tie your shoes, you don't even there's no thought behind tying your shoes. It's not like you're like, okay, I got to hold it like this. For example, let's say I wanted to tie this, right? Look, I could tie this so easy. Look, so easy, room right away. Because this is the same way that I tie my shoes. Look, I don't even got to think about that. Boom, that's it. It's tied. It's not like I'm like, okay, I got to do this, and then I got to cross it over, and then I got to put it under here, and then I have to tighten it, and then I have to do a loop, and then I think I got to, you see, it's a difference. You see that, right? You see the difference, right? It's permanent programming. I've been doing this since I was a little kid. So it's easy for me to just be like, yo, I'm going to tie my shoes. Boom. I don't even got to think about it. Look, boom, boom, tied. Done. That's unconscious competence right there. I don't even got to think about it to do it. You have to get like that with your personal development, where you don't even got to think about it to do your personal development. You don't even got to think about it to do. Is this making sense? Put a 4 in the chat box. Is this making sense right now? Right? This is how you got to get with it. Literally, bro, I can do it with my eyes closed. I swear, look, with my eyes closed, I can do it. Look, eyes closed. This is so easy. I've done it so many times. I don't even got to think about it. I can do it with my eyes closed. See what I'm saying? It's unconscious competence. It's second nature. I've done that hundreds and thousands of times, tens and thousands of times. But you got to be able to do that now with what? Your personal development, with your self-development, with your morning routine. You got to get to the mastery stage. And to be honest with you guys, I'm still working on it. To be honest, I'm not even a master of my morning routine yet. I'm working on that. Am I close? Am I a lot better than I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Absolutely. But I got to become a master. And remember, you know, there's multiple areas when it comes to the self-development side. You know, it's not just the reading and the books and the audios. You know, we're talking about your health. You know, your health, working out, the food that you eat, switching to all organic meals, vegan, alkaline foods. Your health is very important. That's also part of your personal development. Okay, your spirituality. Okay, your relationship with your creator. That's part of your self-development as well. You know what I'm saying? These are all areas that we need to work on. Family, business. This is all part of the self-development stage. Guys, look, I am not a master at this. I'd be lying to you guys if I told you I was a master of my personal development, because I still don't have all of those areas mastered yet. I'm still working on building a closer relationship with my creator. I'm still working on developing a better diet and a better plan when it comes to my health. I'm still working on family relationships. I'm still working on other areas. I'm still working on this. So I don't want you guys to think that Nano's a master at it. I'm far from a master. But I am better than I was last year. And I am going to be a master. I am, because I am passionate about this. This is my lifestyle. And those are the 4 stages right there, guys. You master these 4 stages. You got to get to this. This is what's going to take you to a whole nother level. Okay. So from the top, we went over the 4 stages of personal development. Number 1, self-discovery. Okay. Number 2, development. Number 3, actualization. And number 4, mastery. Those are the 4 stages of personal development. That's where we all got to get to the mastery stage. We got to get to that stage where we are masters. Masters of what we do. And that's the key. So if you guys got value from today's call, put some 444s in the chat box. Put 4 4s in the chat box. Because we got a lot of value from today's call. I even got value from it. Even just to remind myself of that training was so dope. It's the only second time I do it this year, probably the last time I do it this year anyways. But it's a dope training. It's a dope training for all of us to become aware of, to understand where we are. Some of you guys, I feel like after this call, are going to be more serious about your personal development, right? Do you feel like you're going to be more serious about your personal development after this call? Of course. Do you feel like you're going to act more? You're going to work on more mastery now? This is key. Lady, the call will be on YouTube, so you can watch the whole thing. I usually don't save the lives on my Instagram because I do so many. But this is the key, fam. This is super key. All right, fam. So I hope you guys had a great call. Thank you guys so much. I know it's Friday, so I'll see you guys again on Monday. But with that being said, fam, I love you guys so much. Hope you guys all have a beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful rest of your weekends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we still need like another 1,500 before we get there. So help me push this, share it with a friend, share it with a family member, let people know about the Mornings with Nano family and what we got going on here. We got great topics for the whole month of August, for the whole month of October, which I'm excited about. And, if you haven't purchased your journal, fam, get your journal for Mornings with Nano. It is helping a lot of people with the notes and just everything in general, fam. It's a great place for you to take notes, making sure that you guys are keeping all of your journals and everything, all the notes in place. It has trainings for you. It has gold cards, it has trainings, it has, you name it, we got it all, fam. So if you haven't gotten your Mornings with Nano journal, I just dropped the link. It's on Amazon. It costs you less than $25 to get one. I appreciate all the love, all the support. It's a great place for you guys to, keep all your notes organized with everything. We have new ones coming for 2023 as well. So just look forward to it. We wanted to give you guys something good so that you guys can, get some value. And, it's a great gift for the holidays as well. I just dropped the link in the chat. If you guys want to grab a journal, save it. Maybe you don't have the money right now. You can buy it on, another day and so on and so forth. But I hope you guys got a lot of value from it. Take it while they're still here. These trainings are amazing. They're only going to be free for maybe another few days, and then it's going to go on MMX, fam. So I appreciate you guys. We're going to do a quick prayer, and then we're going to get up out of here. All right, fam? So quick prayer. Let's pray. Everybody bow your heads and let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful Friday morning where we get a chance to grow, we get a chance to elevate. And the fact that we made the wake-up list this morning, it makes us even more grateful. We understand what our purpose is and we understand what we need to do now moving forward. A lot of us have been playing an act when it comes to our self-development, but we got to understand that this needs to become a lifestyle. We need to become passionate about working on ourselves day in and day out, because we need to continue to be the change that we want to see in the world. So we need to get rid of those bad habits. We need to go out there and work on ourselves and set routines on a day-to-day basis to be able to grow to the best versions of ourselves, which is one of our purposes here on earth, is to become the best version of ourselves and use our godlike abilities. So we thank you for all the ideas that you continue to pour into us each and every single day. We thank you for the wisdom. We thank you for the guidance. We thank you for your leadership. We thank you for your protection. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you for everything that you're doing for us each and every single day. The changes, the elevation, the transformation that we are all having from the beginning of the year till now has been all incredible, but we take no credit for it, and we give you all the glory, God, because none of this would be possible without your grace, without your guidance, and without all that you're doing for us each and every single day. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you're doing for us. We pray that you continue to guide us. We pray that you continue to show us the way. And we thank you ahead of time for all the blessings and all the amazing things that you have for us, God. So we love you. We appreciate you. Let's have a phenomenal weekend filled with love and productivity. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 Thank you guys for staying and praying with me. That means the world to me. The fact that you guys stay on the call with me and pray with me. And, a team that prays together stays together. And if we're all honest, this family has stayed together all year because we pray together, fam. And there's nothing more powerful than that. So thank you guys, for allowing me to pray over you. Thank you guys for, allowing me to speak God's grace into you as well. I know that you're not supposed to allow just anybody to do so, but because you guys allow me to do so, it makes me extremely grateful. And I'm telling you guys, it comes from a humble and serving heart. And I'm just here to serve God's purpose. Okay, family. And I don't want to install my beliefs into anybody. We know that, everybody here has different beliefs. But at the end of the day, we all have a higher power. We all have a creator. All right. And we're just giving all the glory and all the love and all the appreciation to our creator. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, whatever you believe in, we are just giving thanks to the individual or to the higher power that made all of this possible for us, fam. So I love you guys all. I appreciate you guys all. Please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, show love. And I will see you guys back again on Monday morning. Have a blessed weekend. Stay safe and become passionate about your personal development. That's the key. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's run. Let's go.